Listen to the apes and gang. Guys, what are we doing? How are we doing? It is your boy Trey coming back again for another freaking YouTube video. And today we have some pretty sick news. I'm not gonna lie. Coming from the man Adam here, the CEO of AMC. And it is regarding some highly anticipated news, right? So he had been hinting for a while on his Twitter feed that in fact he would have some news coming out in the near future. And he did not fail to deliver. So this first tweet came out on November 24th stating this: hello all, I have a fun announcement coming this holiday weekend about one of our big December movies. It's an idea which I think many of you will like a great deal. Be on the lookout for my tweet this Sunday. Whatever could it be? The suspense was just deadly. I almost freaking ate too much turkey trying to pass out. I actually didn't have any turkey at all. If you guys are from the Midwest, Minnesota, Iowa, that neck of the woods, I had Pizza Ranch. That's kind of my shebang. But nonetheless, he came and he delivered. So we have this right here. This idea came from you, meaning that he pays attention to what apes, retail investors, the shareholders of his company state on a day-to-day basis, and their thoughts, right? Their opinions on ways that, you know, the business could benefit from different ideas. And here is one of them. Partnering with Sony Pictures for AMC first ever NFT. More than 100 unique Spider-Man NFTs given free to the first 86,000 online buyers of US AMC December 16th tickets for Spider-Man No Way Home. Only for Stubs Premier, A-List, and Investor Connect members. Now, this is actually pretty interesting, right? So there's been a lot of hypothesizing, hypothecating, if whatever the hell the word is, about what this would be. And quite a few people were guessing that you would either see this or an NFT dividend. The NFT dividend, the point of this being essentially to be able to track a 1-for-1 in comparison to all the shares that are in circulation. So basically, a hypothesis would be if there was 511 million shares in existence, there should be 511 million NFT dividends that are issued to shareholders. The other idea was this, right? An NFT of some sort. And this is actually just kind of what I would view as a toe dipping, right? Now, what I think is happening here is Adam Aaron and the executives for the company are kind of gauging what's going to happen with this first NFT giveaway. And this is actually pretty impressive because there's a lot of utility for NFTs and cryptocurrency, you know, in the form of NFTs in and of itself. So before we get into that, I think the most important thing, if you do not know, is what is an NFT, right? You might be asking yourself that question. Well, Forbes threw together a pretty decent article here. If you'd like to read this, I will link this in the description box down below. That is my reference point. But the big thing that you need to know is it stands for a non-fungible token. Now, what does that even mean, right? Well, if you have a non-fungible token, that means that fungible, whatever the hell that's such a goofy sounding word, fungible. Sounds like a fungus. Fungible would be the opposite of that, right? So a fungible currency would be the US dollar, meaning that you can trade a $1 bill in exchange for another $1 bill, and both those dollar bills are worth the exact same. You're gonna have one that was just wiped between some guy's ass crack and one that came fresh off the freaking Fed printer that Jerome Powell loves so much. Both are worth $1, even though one might be uglier than the other. Then you have a non-fungible token, essentially the opposite of that. You cannot trade this NFT in exchange for another NFT. And this essentially, in a very simple way, be thought of as it's got its own unique sort of coding, its own unique existence that cannot be replicated down to the core. And this is actually talked about in this Forbes article, if you'd like to read in more on this. But it does outline this right here. NFT stands for non-fungible token. It's generally built using the same kind of programming as cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin or Ethereum. But that's where the similarity ends. Physical money and cryptocurrencies are fungible, meaning they can be traded or exchanged for one another. They're also equal in value. $1 is always worth blah, 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 blah. NFTs are different. Each has a digital signature that makes it impossible for NFTs to be exchanged for or equal to one another, hence non-fungible. Essentially meaning it's unique, right? You can't impersonate, you can't syndicate, you can't create another NFT in the place of a different NFT, which is actually pretty useful, right? It means that you can't really have fraud here. It's all trackable. All this stuff is trackable on the blockchain. That's what's impressive about blockchain is you got a person-to-person ledger essentially, where there's always going to be history of any sort of transactions. Now that we have an understanding of why man, it's been a weekend. I'll tell you that. I'm just excited about this. This is cool. NFTs, now that you understand what those are, it's impressive that they're digging into this because of the utility. Essentially, what they can use these NFTs for in the first place. Now, what I actually think would be a really cool idea is this. I was in Astro's live stream earlier today, and a question was asked, and I have absolutely no idea if they're going to do this, but this is a theory, right? This is a hypothesis. This is something that they could do with an NFT. We've talked a lot about share dilution in the past, right? And a lot of people are scared. They say, Trey, What happens if the company decides to dilute stock again before we have the next leg up or before the squeeze happens and it kills all sorts of momentum? Well, guess what? That's a single utility that you could use with an NFT if AMC was to issue such a thing, right? And how would that work? So instead of essentially diluting stock, pushing more stock into the overall free float of the company, what you could do is essentially have a sub-market. In which case, let's say that AMC decided to create 100,000 NFTs. Maybe there's 1,000 designs and I don't know, I think it's to be 1,000 of each or 100 of each, right? It'd be 100. 100 of each, 1,000 designs. They could sell those, and each of those NFTs is tradable. So they would make money off of that initial push out into the market with the NFTs, while the people who bought them can trade them actively back and forth for whatever they think each NFT is worth. That's a single example of the utility of NFTs. If AMC was to get into that, you'd essentially completely crush the need to dilute stock, right? You just create your own product. Essentially, you're selling a good or a service in the form of art, in the form of music, in the form of a book. You can make it whatever the hell you want it to be, right? That's the point of a non-fungible token in order to raise capital. That's a single example of the utility of NFTs. Now, the important thing to note is this going to affect the squeeze, right? In the very short term, I'm just going to give it to you straight. No, right? This is not meant to push any sort of squeeze for retail investors. This is meant to strengthen the company. This is something I've talked about quite a bit with Adam Aaron. This guy, as freaking baller as he is with his Twitter game and yada, 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 his job is to run the company and to make sure that eventually, as he's mentioned in a lot of earnings calls, that eventually the actual fundamentals of AMC match the stock price, right? So what he wants to do is find a way to justify the market cap of the company, right? How can we get the dollars behind the name to make sense? And this is a great step in the right direction. I'm actually really excited about this, right? Is it going to affect price in the short term? It may not. Myself personally, I would not make any sort of bets on a crazy freaking anything happening Monday, but this is a good tiptoe into the water to get a feel of what could be a really cool avenue of approach. I tweeted this out. This is probably how I'm going to wrap up the video, but what I find to be the most fascinating about this is a year ago, I would have never imagined this happened. A year ago, dude, I didn't even know what an NFT was. What the hell is a non-fungible token? Back then, that concept was just crazy to me. And that's where we are now. So what's going to happen in a day, in a month, in 6 months, in a year? Adam Aaron did once say this. He said, I believe in AMC, and my job is to make sure that 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now, this company is better than it was that day, right? The day before, and the day before that, and the day before that. Now, there's been a lot of speculation in terms of Adam Aaron as a CEO, and is he doing everything that he needs to for the retail investors? And I have to admit, right, I question that. I don't necessarily agree with every decision that he makes, and I don't have to. But I do want to feel as if he is running the company and trying to grow and evolve. And this, to me, is adapting with the times. It's evolution. It's him trying to basically create something new out of a popcorn stock. I mean, that's always the inside joke, right? Is, man, AMC's not, how are you going to make anything out of a fucking popcorn stock? And I'll tell you what, I would buy a popcorn NFT if AMC started selling that shit. For sure. So that's what's got my tits jacked, man. That is some exciting stuff, and I do think it's a step in the right direction. Now, the follow-through is going to be really crucial. We do have to watch and see. To me, like I said, this is a tiptoe in the water, but if this goes well and they see some solid results, I wouldn't be surprised if they dive into this and try to find some utility for the NFTs to help grow the company and evolve the company, and that's what I've got for you guys. So, hope you guys all enjoyed your freaking Thanksgiving weekend. I'm repping the Vikings. I have the game on in the background. I'm pretty sure that Cousins just threw a pick and we were down 14 points. So that's kind of a kick right in my nards. But nonetheless, I hope you guys are having a freaking chill day. And I'll catch you guys on Monday. Last thing that I've got for you is, since I'm not able to live stream, right, with work the way that it is and my schedule being the way it is, going to these medical appointments, trying to work through this medical board, trying to just get everything done, right? I've recognized that I have to find some sort of middle ground so that I can interact with the community more and try to provide as much value as I can. And the way I'm going to try to do that is by introducing shorts to the channel. So what I would like to do, ideally, is one video a day, one nice sit down 8 to 15 minute video, and then a good short during my lunch break, so I can just kind of catch up with you guys. If there's anything pressing that I think has come up worth discussion, right, I'll bring that to the table, and it's just a way to be able to interact with you guys more. So that's what I've got. Nonetheless, catch you guys on the next one. Much love, light taps. As always, peace.